Dear friends, first, my apologies for being 22 minutes late. Been on the phone, been on the conference call, been doing Zooms with family members, friends, as you can understand, from the Tampa area. I think you can understand it is grim, to say the least, and people are freaking out at levels you can't even believe. It's surreal. Trying to talk to people, keeping them calm, trying to assess situations. Sorry about that. Trying to maintain some degree of strength and commitment as people are freaking out. People are being told, if you don't know the configuration of Florida on the West Coast, St. Pete, Clearwater, Pinellas, down Sarasota, Manatee, beautiful areas, Longboat Key, Captiva, Sanibel, that past the Sunshine Skyway. People are being told they're expecting, don't be surprised, expect 15-foot storm surges. I mean, it's the most incredible thing anybody's ever heard. The closest thing I've seen, the closest thing I can remember or recollect is 9/11, when you saw this incomprehensible disaster that normally is in movies. Normally it's in other parts of the world, and you're seeing this. You're being a part of this. Let me just change cameras there. So, and anyway, please, I think you probably understand, probably forgive me, but it is just absolutely beyond anything anybody's ever seen. And I was talking to people and friends who lost so much damage during Helene, and this is going to completely finish them off. Absolutely finished it. Martin says, you killed on the Atwood show today. Best intro to a new audience I've ever seen. 5-star comments and 3,000 plus amazed and tickled listeners. Bravissimo. Thank you so much. Sean Atwood is just a gem and my new best friend. So, my friends, let's sit back, please. Let's get ready. Let's find out what's going on. Let's hang in there. Let's do the best we can. Let us remember. For those of you who are so inclined, pray for Florida. Pray for these great people, and pray for so many people who are sitting here and watching something that they never thought they'd ever be seeing. They always heard about this, but come 11 o'clock Eastern time tonight, that's when it's really going to hit the fan, so to speak. In any event, dear friends, you mentioned the other day when it comes to this, and I'm trying not to incorporate real-time information. You know, and I know that irrespective of crypto and everything, one of these days, currency is going to go back to the basics, and it's going to be gold, it's going to be silver. And people were asking, how do I go about doing this? If I wanted to, forget just converting IRAs into gold, but how do you buy gold? Do you is it insured? Is it the real thing? Whom do I trust? Tell me a place so that I know what I'm doing. Who's the best in the business? Noble Gold Investments, Colin Plume, my great friend. I've known these guys for years. Listen carefully. There's a revolution happening right above our heads. It's about to make silver more precious than ever. The sun's power is taking over the world. It's growing so fast, it'll be the biggest source of electricity by the 2030s. Solar. Here's the kicker. Every single solar panel needs silver to work. We're talking about a silver paste web in every panel, turning sunlight into power. Smart investors are already making their move, and that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. With a silver IRA, you can surf this incredible wave of growth. It doesn't matter who sits in the White House or what Wall Street does. Solar power is unstoppable, and silver is its secret weapon. As the world goes green, your retirement could be going sterling silver. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers in 2024. Visit LionelNationGold.com. You may get up to 10 free brand new 1-ounce silver Trump coins. Listen to that. Or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with every qualifying IRA. That's LionelNationGold.com. And remember, there's always a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. All right, my friends, let's get back into the back to the basics of love. Linda said, "Are they mostly a Republican part of Florida?" They are now. Florida, with I'll tell you, Ron DeSantis is going to be a very serious player, and he's showing absolute leadership when it comes to being a governor, and he is exquisite. I got to tell you something. Oh, Therese Pollard says, your Sean Atwood interview was so fun to watch. I know he was losing it. I have it here. I have it here. I call it. I gave it a rather boisterous name, so to speak, but it was something to the effect of the interview that broke the internet. I kind of went a little extreme with that, but let me provide this for you right now. There it is. For those of you who are interested, please follow it. What a great guy. I really knew I had him when he was starting to cough, when he couldn't breathe right. That's when you go in for the kill. When you hit somebody, when I was doing the ducks and they're eating dogs and cats, for some reason the southern thing hit him, even though they don't speak like that in Ohio. He doesn't know. That was a real barn burner. And isn't it interesting? What was the thing that they loved the most? Weather manipulation. Now, my friends, before I left to do this, we're doing legal stuff, contractual. I'm licensed to practice in Florida and New York and New Jersey and DC and all of the federal courts. So I'm doing some things at the time, and I had everything ready to go before my call, and then I lost it. So let me do this. I want you to watch some things here, and forgive me for bringing them up. And I'm going to, this is a bit crude, but I want you to see some things here.
Have done something differently.
Okay, this was listen, the good news is she is losing so poorly, so badly. No. Listen to Uncle Lenny. No, she is on flame. It is Hindenburg style. It is bigger, better, worse than anything you could imagine. You hear what I'm saying? Worse than anything. She is blowing chunks. She is emetic, horrid, beyond terrible. This says it all. The internet. This woman is, and I don't want to say she's stupid, but she might be. Would you have done something differently than President Biden during your past 4 years? Yes, you schmuck. You want to win? I don't think she wants to win. You think I'm kidding. You think I'm exaggerating. You think I'm making this up. I don't think she wants to win. I'm telling you, watch this.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Dear God, listen, I know you're not supposed to say this word. There was a word, it was an R word. And it rhymed with metard, okay? And I know we shouldn't use that. And I understand. I really understand. But if she is not the perfect embodiment of that horrible word, I don't know who is. I don't even know. Okay, let's see what else I've got. Pardon me. This is a very rough. Oh, this is the best. This is Mark Halperin. This is what they're freaked out over. Oh, God, watch this. Watch this. Pay attention. Are you paying attention? Pay attention.
We're talking about Harris a lot on this program for a couple reasons. Okay. We know what Trump is. We don't need to spend every episode talking about January 6th. We'll talk about it if people want to bring it up. What's happening now with Kamala Harris is this is an experiment. Can you win a short campaign with an untested candidate? And what I'm telling you is happening in private polling is she's got a problem now. Okay. It's not cheering for Trump. It's not predicting Trump will win. She's got a problem. Please bring up the New York Times poll. So the New York Times poll shows her up 3 nationally. We all know that 3 is like the bubble point, right? If she's up 3, she's got a chance to win the electoral college, but they'd rather be at 4 and they don't want to be at 2. So 3 is right at the bubble. I'm not saying this Times poll is right. It's in line with other national polls. Now, bring up 102. Wall Street Journal has a story about Democrats really worried about the 3 Rust Belt states. We all know from our contacts in both campaigns that Pennsylvania is tough for her right now. And without Pennsylvania, there are paths, but there aren't many. There's no path without Wisconsin. So you see here, Tammy Baldwin's Senate campaign poll shows Harris down 3 in Wisconsin. We all said yesterday, Wisconsin and Michigan are looking worse for Harris than before. Baldwin has her down 3, not Baldwin has Harris down 3. Why is the Baldwin campaign sharing its polling with the Wall Street Journal? Good question. Sean, why would a campaign share their polling negative for their candidate? Because they want more visits? Is that the reason?
I mean, I think part of this is like a Hillary Clinton redux, which is that you want to make sure people understand what's going on. Plus, you're tied to it. Tammy Baldwin can't win if Kamala Harris loses.
She can. Yeah, she can. She can. I think.
Okay. Well,
in a close race, she can.
Okay, maybe it's not a 5,000 vote squeaker, but I think part of this is to make sure that they understand this. But I will say this. Off topic, Alyssa Slotkin said the same thing last week in Michigan. Like, this is
correct.
What we were talking about the other day. This
correct.
Is
correct.
They are sending.
I think that's the challenge for Democrats is the trend lines, right? I mean, if you just go back now for the last 3 to 4 weeks in Michigan and in Wisconsin, not that Harris was up, 7 and it went down to 4, down to 1. It's gone from 3 to 2 to 1 to tied. And at the same time, those Senate candidates, Casey, Slotkin, and Baldwin, are seeing the same trend line.
All much closer.
By the way,
so you do it to sound the alarm bell. You are sounding the alarm bell in the party.
Yeah, Mark, Dan's right, but I could just little asterisk point. I don't want to go on this, but I think it was funny a week ago. You had Chuck Schumer and the D-Trip kind of are the DSCC pivot and say we're going to bail on Montana and go after Texas and Florida on offense. And here they are 7 days later going, oh crap. I mean, I just get a kick out of this because after November 5th, we may look back and say, wow, that was a horrible mistake not to fortify the trenches.
I think that move by Schumer was all designed.
Okay, I don't want to get this is the bottom line. Let me translate. It's dying. They can't believe this. They're freaking out. They're showing internal polls, the Rust Belt, Pennsylvania, go through. If you're not following X and Twitter and everything, you're not doing it the right way. Pay attention. Pay attention, dear friends. I'm telling you. Now, let me also stop right there. I want you to listen to me very carefully. This is also critical. I cannot tell you how much I believe this. I cannot. Oh, thank you, CR. You are a doll. Do you know that? A doll. Thank you for your kindness. Let me explain something to you. Today, I'm watching the news and hearing about this. In some parts, I think it might be either Manatee, Sarasota. They're saying there's no 911. There is no 911. Let me say this again. Don't bother. If you're staying there, you're on your own. And I don't know what's going to happen before. Let me tell you. And again, you might be saying to yourself, I don't live in a hurricane area. I don't have to worry about, storm surges. That's true. We don't either. If you're not listening to what's happening, every area every part of the country is susceptible to a breakdown, whether it's weather, whether it's manufactured, whether it's lethal, whether it's exaggerated, whether it's ransomware, supply chain breakdowns, dock worker strikes, name it. I've told you before, preparewithlionel.com. Just go there. Spend a few minutes. Right now, they've got a 3-month emergency food kit. The best deal. You can save $500, 3 months. There are people who will never recover. There are people in Florida, for example, and again, you might say, but I don't live in Florida. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. But something else. This is what happens to people. This is what happens when stores close. By the way, I'm finding not only their stores closed, gas, people with electric cars, Teslas or whatever, the salt water, gone. Gone. They've got these gazillion-dollar electric cars that are like, don't get near them. I don't know if they're going to catch a fire. Who knows? There are people, listen to what I'm saying. After Helene wiped out and now Milton, there's nothing. They might get some power. Where are you going to go? There's no stores. Publix isn't going to open after this, after these areas. And maybe if you go there, imagine having 3 months of emergency food in combinations you cannot imagine. You got water, it's like an MRE, but better, with variety, so you don't go crazy, so your kids are going to pull their hair out. What do you want? Look at what they've got. You couldn't mimic this, produce this on your best day. Preparewithlionel.com. All of that information is in the discussion section here. I'm telling you, they have never been busier because people are realizing, because up to and including, gold and silver and the usual stuff. Look at those generators. Look at the water purifiers. Look at these little portable ovens, things you never thought you would ever need. And let me tell you something. I'm not a camper. I've never been camping. I don't like camping. I've got no concept of this. Preparewithlionel.com is perfect, especially for people who have literally no idea of how this thing works. I'm blown away from this. Imagine 911. I'm sorry. We told you to leave. Wait a minute. We need help. Sorry, but we got a heart attack. Sorry, we can't get there. There is no cavalry. This is called anarchy. And where is the woman who wants to be the president? She's having Miller High Life with Colbert. Okay, let's see what else I've got for you. You will not. One of the best things ever. I think this was in. Forgive me. I think he's in Scranton or Reading. Anyway, this is what's running. This is what's running in Pennsylvania or thereabouts.
You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir. Let me see your war face. Sir, you got a war face? That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Bullshit. You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face.
Watch this.
I hear it and I know. I know you wanna take.
You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are puke. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking being. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
How to abracadabra, these bitches know I got answers. The way I
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as the brown stain on the mattress.
This is it, my friend. This is what it's all about.
For Uncle Sam.
I love working for Uncle Sam.
Let me know just who I am.
Lets me know just who I am.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
Is that beautiful?
No, it's a little exaggeration. Probably really not that much, actually.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. Do you feel it? Are you feeling it? Not only are you feeling it, but the numbers are just seeing Howard Stern, this demented smartass, actually daring to say in front of Kamala, you know, I felt kind of bad when they were mocking you. I felt bad. I felt that could not believe what I was hearing. And then Colbert, while Trump is everywhere. Oh, there's more. I'm going to show you some other good stuff. Watch this. Again, I'm sorry, I've got to surprise this on you, but all my beautifully lifted and positioned video clips were lost, but that's okay. We'll do it this way.
And Kamala, she lies about everything, including where she worked. Remember?
You know what? Somebody said, you know, does he have to talk like that? Yes. Sir, you talk any way you want. You win the Rust Belt, you must be doing something right.
We have lying Kamala. She lies about everything, including where she worked. Remember? I worked so hard at McDonald's, it was unbelievable. I stood over the French fries all summer, winter, fall, spring. She never worked there. She lied. You know the beauty of that? They'll say, oh, it's so terrible to bring that up. It's so simple. No, David, the beauty of that, it's so simple. It's so easy to understand. She said she worked like a dog in McDonald's, and it never happened. She didn't work there. That's better than some complex, long story that I have to before we get to the fact that she's a no-good liar. But you know what's more important about her? I don't like her.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. Somebody says, I got a pantry full of Twinkies with a 25-year shelf life. Really? You really think that's going to do it? You really do? I got a barrel full of bacalao that lasts me 25 years. Really? You really think that's going to... Is that a joke? Somebody one time told me, I don't need any special food. Why? I've got a fishing pole. A fishing pole. A fishing pole. I can go out and fish. One of my conference mates today were telling me in her backyard, there was some snake. I don't know what it was, but I said, well, and I mentioned it, I said, are you out there maybe trying to fish? Fish? What are you talking about? I don't want to go outside. Not only that, fall in line, just like with hurricane, and nobody there. I got to tell you this: nobody there to help. Nelson said, "I'm here, Uncle Len. Trump at MSG. We will sweep New York." Oh, I hope so. Oh, I hope so. I will never figure out what the hell this guy's talking about, but I'm glad he's here. Johnny, I swear to God, I look up every now and then, I'm thinking, what are you smoking, injecting, inhaling? Or I hope it's something artificial, because if you're thinking of this stuff just on your own, we have to talk, my friend. We have to really, really talk, because I'm worried about you. And I love you to death. Off the wall, off the charts, out of his mind. But bless your heart. Thank you. For what? I don't know, but thank you. Now, let me see what this one is. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Oh, I already got that one. All right, sorry about that. Forgive me for this. I have to do this very kind of repair what I think. Okay, this was a guy. Did you see this today, my friends? This was Schulz. This was Andrew Schulz. Now, when Kamala was on Who's Your Daddy or Pimp Your Daddy or whatever the hell it was, nobody knew what she was talking about. But this was Trump on this show, and he was a hit. Watch this.
You know, I do a thing called a weave. And there are those that are fair that say, this guy is so genius. And then others would say, oh, he rambled. I don't ramble. What you do is you weave things and you do it. You need an extraordinary memory because you have to come back to where you started.
They don't give you credit for that. You could go all the way over here and then get back.
I can go so far here or there. And I can come back to exactly where I started. Someday when you don't come back to where you started,
you're Biden.
I call it the weave. And some people think it's so genius, but the bad people, what they say is, he was rambling. It's not a ramble. There's no rambling.
This is a weave.
This is a weave. It's a good name. I'm not sure. That's another name. We had fake news. We came up with lots of names. I think we should make the weave a part of that stable.
Yeah, you really weaved your way to answer my question twice.
That's brilliant. Because I don't even want to know the answer.
Let's weave back to his question.
They love him. They love him. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is, and it's not. The man's a genius. The man is an absolute genius. What else do I have here? Let me see. Do I have this one here? Let me see if this is this. Oh, did you see this? Do you know what this is? Do you know what this one is? Tell me you know. Let me get the exact writing for this one. Here. I saw this. This was incredible. Let me tell you what this was. This was, ready for this? 200. Let me see. Let me play this for you. And you watch this right now. Let me tell you what this was. 275 linemen from Florida Power and Light, FPL, at Trump Doral as they get ready to respond to the aftermath. The Trump family basically said, enjoy the rooms. We appreciate you. Thank you. Foot of the bill, it's yours. Is that great or what? Can you believe this guy? How much do you love Trump? He does something. Elon Musk does something. Numbnuts goes on the Howard Stern show, the guy with the bad wig and the hat. And I mean, just, are you kidding me? This is why she's going to lose. She's going to lose. And it's going to be, I'm trying not to get too excited about this. I don't want to show my hand. Let me see, what else do we have here? Is this it? I hope I'm not. Let me see. 662. Did we show this one? Yep, we did. Sorry. You already saw that one. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let me try this one. I'm sorry for this. Again, I had them all lined up, but they fell apart. Okay, watch this.
Office will ensure that.
Oh, I love this. Now, this is Florida. Now, people forget sometimes that, people like Grady Judd, Florida. Listen to what, this is the Emergency Operations Center. Not everybody is welcome into the emergency facilities. Listen carefully.
The Sheriff's Office will ensure that is a safe environment for anyone that comes there. Anyone that comes in will be checked to make sure that they are not a fugitive and not wanted, not a sex offender. If you are a predator, you are not allowed at the rimfire shelter. If you are designated under Florida law as a sex predator and you need shelter, you need to go to the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility. That's the county jail on Justice Lane, and we will accommodate you in the lobby of that building. You've probably seen it before, I would guess.
You've probably seen it before. That's called a jail. You've probably seen it before. We are not going to accommodate you in any way whatsoever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I get this one? Did I?
Thing called a weave. And there are those that are fair. That's
I guess I got them all. Okay, enough with that. Now, the good news is simply this. The president is storming through the Rust Belt. Howie Brown says Trump's an old-fashioned, classy guy with a big heart. Absolutely. But he's smart enough to recognize that he is being given this opportunity to help people. Now, I want everybody to do this. Vito says it's getting closer, but I can't believe it's yet another 3.5 weeks until it's done and Trump returns. Lionel, help me. I want pizza. Well, let me explain something. Listen to me very carefully. The election, the voting is going on now. Do not forget this. It's going on now. Not just theoretically in 26 days. Now, I want you to do a favor for me. What I normally do, I hope everybody is following on X. Look up for you Trump's Scranton rally, Kamala Harris's live broadcast mishap. Have you seen this one? Have you seen this? This is the one you got to see. Let me ask you this. Did you see this one? Yes or no? Somebody wake up, Johnny Ballgame. Did you see the one where she was basically saying, this is live? Did you see this today? Tell me. Did you see it? I'm just going to wait a second. Did you see it? Good. CR saw it? Good. I knew you'd see it, CR. Mark Wilson, nope. Nope. Come on, let's go. Did you see what we're talking about? Did you see it? Did you see what was going on? Okay. Nope. Good. This is what happens, and this is why it's important and critical for you to watch sources such as X. Let me bring this up to you, and let me hang on a minute. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of that, and let me get rid of this, and let me put it here, and let me tell you what this is. This was all over it was all over X. You're not going to see it on MSDNC. You're not going to see it on any of those others. There we go. Is this it? Yep, we really got it. Now watch what this is carefully. Let me see if I can explain this to you before we watch it. It's not the most obvious, but you have to focus. Kamala busted. She's heard telling an aide who is feeding her questions that it's a live broadcast. She then asks the question she was presumably given. When you realize what a fraud she is, it's over. So, again, she had her staffers giving her questions to ask during the hurricane briefing. And she covers her mouth to let them know it's a live broadcast. Little did she know her mic was still on, okay? Think about it. Listen to carefully. She's telling people it's live as they feed her the answers. Okay, you ready? Now listen carefully. We're going to play this for you. Hang on a minute. No.
It takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Let's go back again. Watch this. Now watch her top left. Watch her put her hand over her mouth and whisper, it's live.
It flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite.
It's a live broadcast. You hear that? One more time. Put the hands down. Put the hands down. There we go. There we go. She's letting them know it's a live broadcast. Why they don't know this? I don't know why they don't know this. But she doesn't understand there's a microphone and they're feeding her questions. How? Most probably through her earrings. Listen.
We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there's a lot of media following this briefing.
See, you hear that? She doesn't even know the questions to ask. She doesn't understand the questions to ask. She doesn't. She doesn't get it. She's still not. What would you ask? How are we doing? What can the federal government do? Act like you care. Let me say this again. She's so bloody stupid, she doesn't understand. She doesn't even know what to ask. I don't even know what to tell you. Trump offers free housing for linemen. Trump's Schulz interview. Trump attacks Harris. Oh, this is great. He just lays into the View, which is wonderful. Kansas professor's controversy. A professor at University of Kansas says that men who don't vote for Kamala should be lined up and shot. He then asks that line to be cut from the recording so the dean doesn't find out. Did you hear this? Do you want to hear this? I think so. This is to our good friend at Libs of TikTok. A wonderful, wonderful woman of immense talent who, again, provides some of the best. Let's look at this. I'm going to bring this up. Pardon me. I'm sorry for this rather crude means. Let me see. Rather this crude way of doing this. Let's see. Okay. Stand by for a second. I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to, here we go. Pardon me. I'm going to bring this up. I like to explain things to myself.
The girls, you got some serious problems. That's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Well, I think they might be a little too late. This is the dimension. A woman running, not a qualified woman, not a good woman, not a smart woman, but just a woman. DEI, identitarian nonsense. This is wonderful. This is terrific. Florida tornado outbreak. Look at this. 6 hours ago, there is a tornado out of Fort Myers, Lee County. Some of the most incredible. You've got to see this live. X, Twitter, is the greatest news source. I'm doing a Trump right now. Look at me. It's the greatest news source there is, bar none. A woman by the name of Ali Reed TV shows incredible pictures. Just incredible. Incredible. Let me go through this. Trump on Musk. Biden, you can watch that. I just love. Here we go. Supporters in Tucson. Happy to meet J.D. Vance. Let me tell you something right now. I'm glad we're talking about this. I don't want to hear any of these bastards say, I'm not a big fan of J.D. Vance. Do me a favor. Shut up. He's fantastic. Compared to Tampon Timmy, let me tell you something. You're not going to see these people again. Remember something. When they lose, you're never going to see them. Quick, what was the name of Hillary's running mate? Who can first get the name of Hillary's running mate? Anybody? Who can name Hillary's running mate in 2016? Hurry. Who's the first person? Doesn't come to mind, does it? Tim Kaine. Thank you. Where's Tim Kaine? Did he run again? I don't know. You'll never see this again. It will take forever for the Democrats to recover, much like hurricane coverage. It's done. It's done. And the biggest names available are going to say, you picked this numbnuts and this guy. We gave you millions and millions and millions of dollars. And you pick them? How do you explain that? We can do so much. Oh, look at this. Weather weapons watch, weather modification. Listen to me, my friends. One of my calls today was a client, but also just an old friend. And he said, do you remember when I first told him about geoengineering? I said, oh, I remember. He said, no. Do you remember when you would talk, when they used to call them chemtrails? Do you remember? I said, yes, I do. And now, how much have you heard? Have you heard as much about weather manipulation as we do now? Have you? The Brad says, who was John Kerry's running mate? John Kerry's running mate was... It's a great question. John Kerry's running mate. Let me go up here. John Kerry, running mate. That's a very good one. John Edwards. Remember that? John Edwards. Whatever happened to him? We don't know. John Edwards. And John Edward was the guy who used to talk to dead people. And his studio was right where the Alvin Ailey Theater is, right off of 9th Avenue. It's just right there, 55th or whatever. There it is. And it was right there. And he would talk to dead people. And before they did their show, they had microphones everywhere. So people would get there early and start talking, and they're listening to what everybody was saying. Do you remember, of course, Gerald Ford's vice president? It's the only time where we had two people, president and vice president, never elected. Very quickly, who was Gerald Ford's vice president? This is the one that used to confound people before because John Edwards didn't win. Who was his vice president? Let's see who gets that first. Nelson Rockefeller. Nelson Rockefeller, who died in the saddle. Megan Marshank, right there in the Midtown, 50-somethings, right around there. And they had to move him to... I'm sitting with my friends right now, and I'm thinking to myself, could this possibly be? I know how you're feeling. You're thinking, I don't want to get too excited too much about this. I don't want to be let down. I don't want people to laugh. Listen, Hillary Clinton was not a bad candidate. I know you're going to disagree with me. I know you are. Hillary Clinton was smart. Hillary Clinton was talented. Hillary Clinton was a lot of things, but she was not an idiot by any stretch of the imagination. You hear what I'm saying? Okay. Joe Biden. Say what you want about Joe Biden. Before Joe got ill or demented, Joe Biden was a senator. They loved him in Washington. He was an old-time back-slapping guy who honestly, during his prime, he probably was more conservative and as was Hillary. He wasn't a joke. Might not have been the best, but he wasn't a joke. He wasn't full-blown woke. She was a joke, but she was the vice president. Dan Quayle. Thank God, Dan Quayle, a good guy, but not exactly a whiz-bang. We never saw him. Spiro Agnew. Thank God. We never saw him. So Kamala, what was the most bizarre was when the Democratic Party said, we're going to pick. We're going to pick her. Couldn't believe it. Still can't believe it. We're going to look back to this day, my friend, to this race, and we're going to say, did this ever happen? Yes. And Joe Biden is throwing this. He double-crossed these people so greatly. So by picking her. I don't know if that's what they wanted. I can't believe it. It should have been Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom would be a different story. Let me tell you about Gavin Newsom. You can laugh all you want about him because he's doing a terrible job. He can pivot tomorrow. He'll say, okay, I'm Law and Order. And you'll buy it. Well, not buy it. Maybe you won't, but they will. He stands there, looks right, he's got his hair and this and that, and he knows what he can speak. He was a governor. He knows what he's talking about. It's the seventh largest country, or it would be the seventh largest country in the world. This is a guy who knows what he's talking about. He would have been perfect. Why did they do this? The Brad says, all running mates go away as Lieberman, Ryan. Joe Lieberman was a good guy. Joe Lieberman, when he ran against, he was a vice president against Ford and against Gore, and he was very good. One of the best debates ever, it's not even a debate, was Joe Lieberman and Dick Cheney. They were sitting down. They were the most cordial people you have ever met. Let me also tell you something. If you think that everybody is necessarily bad, no. Let me tell you something now. You're not going to believe this. There are sometimes people that we need back again. Henry Kissinger had his good points. There was something to be said a little bit, maybe at times, for Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney was a classic. Let me give you an example. I can deal with anybody who is competent. In the city of New York, we have a mush-mouthed, gibberish-spewing rube who still is smarter than Kamala, named Eric Adams. You got to see this. And by the way, I don't know if Mr. Oplin's here, but Chicago is falling apart. The whole education board just quit. They're bad. But we have a guy named Eric Adams. Eric Adams, if I just lined up his immediate, everybody in his cabinet and his people around him, and I just said, look at him. Just look at him. Teresa says, thank you for Rush speaking on Trump. Lovely. Indeed. He had the biggest bunch of, I don't want to say crooks, but insiders and just shady people. The Caban brothers, they look like they were like, I don't know what these folks were. They've all they will be indicted. They've all quit. Everybody. He got one guy who they picked up with, I think it was witness tampering. Eric Adams has nobody left. And he said, I'm not going to quit because New York. It's like, oh, shut up. You're a hack. Beat it. Okay. There's a guy, Jumaane Williams. Oh, no, you don't want him. You know who might be coming back? Andy Cuomo. Andy Salazzo. I believe that it made the sausages, and I believe that what we need to do is to make the sausage. And I believe this weird, he had a voice. I don't know what that was. This is Fredo's brother. He wants to run. I'll take him in a heartbeat because he's not an idiot. Might be corrupt, might be stupid, might be a lefty, might be a lot of things. He might be a sexual predator, but he's not stupid. I can't deal with stupid. Carla The cooking CEO says, I was saying that at lunch. I liked Hillary, evil but smart. Kamala is a true marionette. She is devoid of intellect, empathy, or character. Oh, absolutely. Give me somebody who's smart. I can figure him out. Also, Carla, give me somebody who's sincere. Bernie Sanders is sincere. Bernie Sanders believes what he's saying. Bernie Sanders is a democratic socialist. He believes it. I don't care what anybody says. I like people who are sincere. Bill de Blasio was the predecessor to this. And he was he was a lefty, but he was smart, but he was sincere. He really was he and his wife, he married a woman named Shirlane who claimed she was a lesbian, but not anymore. Okay. All right. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into New York politics. Give me somebody who's smart. Give me somebody who I understand. I can't do something with stupid. I can't do it. I'll take corrupt. Corrupt, I can maybe work around with. Corrupt, I can say, Carl, I can say, look, do your best. Corrupt, I can say, look, back up. Come on, cut it. Okay, all right. Lighten up, tighten up. Okay, fine. Be nice. All right, be honest. All right, I'll change. Stupid, you can't do that to. Come on, be smart. I want you all to understand one thing. This is the end of politics as we know it. I'm also going to tell you one more time, too. I'm going to keep saying this, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again. Before I forget, not now. If you don't want to do it now, write this down. Preparewithlionel.com. Look at it later. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Don't give me this bullshit about, I've got bacalao. I've got cookies. I got pasta in my... It's like those people who say, I smoke because my grandfather smoked Terradin without the filters, and my Constitution. I like people who's like, oh, are you going to defy this? That's right. Okay, all right. This is the end of politics as we know it. Let me tell you what nobody cares about. Abortion. Sorry. It's not a political thing. UFOs, not a political thing. AI, not a political thing. Israel, not a big deal. You watch people like Colonel McGregor and Judge Napolitano and Jeffrey Sachs. Do you know anybody? Have you ever gotten into any kind of big arguments with anybody? Do any of your friends talk about, we've got to find the best candidate who knows what to do with Israel and can defend the Palestinians and finally tell Bibi Netanyahu, perspective, damn it, perspective. Do you know anybody like that? Does anybody care? How about Ukraine? Nope. The first thing you need to do, the number one issue in this country, remember, if you let me run the politics, the Christ, the Donald, the very first thing I would do is I would sit there to people and I would say, let me explain something. The perverts, the degenerates, freaks, the cryptosexuals, the predators, the people who want to destroy your children's innocence, they're gone. They're not going to be in government. They're not going to be teachers. They're not going to be high school teachers. It ain't going to happen. They're gone. That is the number one issue that anybody in the middle who is undecided will care about. Why do you think somebody's undecided? Because they don't care. Well, they don't care about the big issues. You got to give them something that's obvious. Number one, there is not one person who goes, hey, wait, hold it. I think trans education is an important point, and I think kids should be told and indoctrinated correctly in the... Nope. Not one. Not one of them. If there's one thing that makes me the most sick, if there's one thing, it's this stuff right now. I got to tell you something, and I mean it with all my heart. I am the most open-minded person you ever meet. Whatever you want to do personally, whatever your thing is, whatever your kink is, I don't care. Is it consensual? Yeah. Is it with an adult? Knock yourself out. I mean it. I swear to God, I mean it. Gay, straight, trans, crypto, gender, I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me because I don't care. I recognize the fact that the span of human sexuality is one thing that, and as people get older, especially, some people settle down, some people settle up. Some people, when they get to that particular part of their life, when they say, oh my God, I've come to that crossroads, they get to be sexually out of control. Fine. Consensual adults, no problem. I don't care. I don't care. Let me ask you a question. Twice in my life, I've had friends whose wives left them for other women. Question. What would you want? What would be worse? For your spouse to leave you for somebody of the same sex or somebody of a different sex? What would be easier for you to handle? Answer the question. It's a fantastic point. This is my favorite. Who cares? I love that. I love who cares. I love that. I love the who cares crowd. That's the kind of person I want to know. Look at this. I could care less either way. No, you couldn't care less. If you could care less, what's the big deal? Now think about it. Think about it. What would be worse? What would be? I'm dead serious. Think about this. You got to think. It's called hypothetical. You got to imagine a situation that may not have ever applied to you and may not apply now. What's worse to you? Because divorce is a terrible thing. Divorce is horrible. People don't go through that. I understand it. It's terrible. But and the worst is when you've lost your spouse to your best friend. Dear God. Look at this. Is it that important, Mr. L? Is it that important? Is it? Is it? Do I have to answer this question? I know you like to ask hypothetical questions. I realize that. And I understand that. And don't get me wrong. I know you do this from time to time. And I know you want us to think. I know you do that. I recognize this fact. And I know sometimes you'll ask a question that may or may not apply. But is it really important? Because I have to think about this. And I don't like it. I would much rather say I don't care about it or it's not important. Don't make me think about something. Don't make me think. Please. I don't like to do this. I'm not sure. This is where I realize we have a hard nut to crack. Don't ask hypothetical questions. I think that's one of the greatest questions of all time. I think it's one of the greatest questions of all time. Ask somebody this question. What's the greatest thing anybody's ever done for you? Oh my God. Spend today or tomorrow, tonight, when maybe you're taking a shower or a bath or you're whatever it is, just ask yourself, what was the greatest thing anybody has ever done? What is the trait about yourself you hate the most? And why won't you fix it? What do you do that makes you hate yourself? You can't stand this. Might be an addiction, might be a way of thinking. These are questions that I love to ask. But I know, is this important? Just let me know. Is this, do I have to answer this question? Do I have to think about this? I really don't know if I know you mean well, but I just don't know. I didn't come here to answer these questions because I got to think. I don't like thinking. I'd rather just come up with a quick quip about, because I like to say funny things. I want to be funny, Mr. L. I want to be funny. I want to write little jokes down. That's all I want to do. Carla says, as long as it wasn't for my underage daughter or son. As long as it wasn't for, oh, yes. WL. Well, who is W? I'm trying to think now. I missed that reference. That's a very interesting thing. Nelson says, funny, Kamala disses DeSantis. Then Biden throws the middle finger at Kamala, saying DeSantis is great and cooperating Uncle Lenny funny. Absolutely, because remember, Joe Biden hates her. Hates her. Oh, Woody Allen. Now, wait a minute. Soon Yi was adopted. Does that make any difference? Soon Yi Previn was adopted. And there was the other one, too, that I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. But Soon Yi was adopted. Does that make any difference? How about Joe Biden showering with his daughter? How about Joe Biden showering with his daughter? Remember that one? Remember the whole diary and they had somebody stole it or whatever. They came and they seized it. Remember that one? YouTube Sooks says, I procrastinate a ton. I'm going to work on it tomorrow. Very funny. And my biggest problem is apathy. Who cares about apathy? Very funny. Very, very funny. Woody did a great job for New York City in his movies, made it more important. Yes, he did. He did a lot of wonderful things. I'll tell you who also did some wonderful things too. Is just going through the whole notion of, let me see. Remember do you remember when, and this is a tough one, when Roman Polanski was, who, by the way, Roman Polanski is 91. Roman Polanski was one of the greatest actors of all time. Roman Polanski had that incident with a young woman who might have provided some type of a drug or some type of a Mickey, remember Mickey Fins, some type of a lace something, and may have had his way with her when she was underage. And then later on, either the mother didn't complain or wanted to forgive him. Do you think they should ever say, okay, that's enough. You're 91 years old. That's enough. Do you think so? Do you think so? With all the stuff that goes on, how they're jumping on Roman Polanski. They care about him. But like you brought up Woody Allen. See, I just, see, I forget. I like thinking about the notion, very frankly, of when we get to the point where we say, what's the punishment? How long do we punish? Does this matter? Is it important? How do we handle this? I don't know. Pilgrim Media says, by the way, Roman Polanski is a fugitive from justice. I don't know if he's a fugitive from justice or, I don't know if that case is even there. You got to kind of ask, what is the purpose of that? We don't care about that here. I did a piece today for Lionel Legal. And let me tell you what's happening. Two things are happening. Number one, regarding Diddy, the number of STDs, I called it STD Iddy. The number of people who are going to come forward and say, I got this, you gave me this, I got that, I was contracted, and did he in fact run a brothel? Carla says, I forgive, but I never forget. It's not easy. I wish it was different. I don't understand what forgive means. I do not understand what forgive means. I do not ever forgive. I may say to you, I'm not going to react the same to you anymore. Forgive me is to kind of like undo it, to undo something where it's not a problem. It's okay. I give you a pass. I absolve you. I give you a pass, so to speak. You know what I mean? I don't think like that. I'm not one of these people who holds a grudge forever. I don't think that serves any purpose whatsoever. I really don't. Honestly, I don't see. But forgive? No. Not really. Not really. I really don't forgive. I've never understood that. Forgive you. Why should you forgive? Let me ask something. Is there anybody right here? If I told you that you have one free, dare I say, shot in which you could dispatch one person, nobody will ever find out it was you. You don't have to get your hands dirty. You could just go like this, push the button, and would you do it? Of course you would. Of course you would. Do you think it takes a lot to do this stuff? Of course not. Oh, absolutely. I have no problem with that whatsoever. None. I have absolutely. Some of my morality doesn't really matter. You mentioned that, for example. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I absolutely positively. Let me ask you this. If you went and defended your country and I said, okay, you see that person over there? Yeah, that's a complete stranger. Take him out and his family and the village. You'd say, yes, sir. How sick is that? Now, wait a minute. That's different. That's duty. What do you mean that's duty? Well, I'm your, what, defending your country? I don't think you're defending your country. Why are you doing that? That's disgusting. Following orders. Oh, thank you, Eichmann. You're following orders. It's to me, it's the easiest thing in the world. Nelson says, forget, never forget. No regards here because you learn from them. Remember one thing. Never, ever, 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 ever let some hatred eat you up and destroy you. The best thing ever is indifference. The best thing ever is to say, I don't care about them. However, you can also not care about them, but hate them. Those people who say hate, as long as the hate doesn't destroy you, as long as it doesn't eat you up, as long as it doesn't make you, keeps you up at night, changes your direction, causes perseveration, causes fixation. No. Hate is a wonderful thing. You can, I think sometimes it's invigorating. You hate the enemy. You hate evil. You hate murderers. You hate. If you don't think you can take somebody, anybody hurts your kid, you would delight in it. So the idea that we're somehow better because of our morals, no, we don't. We have morals for things that we'll never, ever, ever have to deal with. Most of us will never have to deal with the notion of taking a life and all this stuff, capital punishment. No, we don't have to worry about that. Or abortion. Most people never have to have an abortion. Never. Never. We think about all these things. No. I think there are some feelings that are absolutely mathematical. You may call them a sin. And one of them is dispatching somebody. Oh, absolutely. Now the question is, Do you think there's a good reason not to allow that? But personally speaking, why would you ever dismiss a feeling that you felt? You're not going to act on it. But if you think somebody hurt you, somebody hurt your family, or somebody that the world would, do you think the world would be better off with some people? I think so. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll go a step further. I think in some respects, people who could learn, like, oh, they must really put a real premium on this kind of behavior or against these people because they just took this guy out. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. None. Morality is something that you do that only you know about. It's something that it's your own internal alarm button. Laurie Cuck says, Gary Planch is a moral and righteous man. Okay, let's look this one. That's good. Let me make sure. Is this Plush? Oh, yes. This is Plushay. This is the fellow, by the way, Gary. He's 68 years old, Baton Rouge. He was an American man known for publicly dispatching Jeffrey Doucette. Yes. Now, I have absolutely, if I was the juror in that case, I'd say, I understand 100%. Yeah. Is it right? Maybe not. I understand it. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. See, one of the things, this is very interesting, I think, and I hope people don't say, do we have to talk about this? Yes, we have to talk about this. You have to ask yourself, what are you made of? Tell me your morality, but on a day-to-day basis, not stuff hypothetically. You're not going to do any of this stuff. Let me ask you one question. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you're in, I'll make it simple. This may be even weirder. If you're dating now, that's fine. Let's say you were dating. You're in a position where you were dating. What's a deal killer? What is it? And people can say tattoos. Okay. Bad drunk. Okay. Let me tell you my morality. This one, I can understand the drinking. You can say, well, maybe it's not his fault. I can understand the tattoos. This is the one where I cannot take. This is, to me, immoral. This is where my morality comes into play. When you treat somebody who is like, let's say, somebody who is a waiter, waitress, servant, whatever that, when you treat them like garbage, done. That is immoral. I don't want to know you. That is a Everything else I can kind of overlook a little bit. That shows me a morality. You have no idea what that does to me. You have no earthly idea. When somebody thinks you're better than somebody else, I have nothing to do with you. Have a nice day. It's the thing that is immoral. That shows a character flaw. That means I don't want to know you. Not interested. Everything else I can kind of work around with. Everything else I can say, well, whatever it is. Human decency, basically good people. That's all it is. But that, I go berserk. I don't know why. You think you're better than somebody else? You really do? You know what I mean? Just like liars. Everybody lies to an extent. Everybody lies. Everybody embellishes. Everybody exaggerates. Everybody takes things out of context. Okay, fine. But a liar. I know people, one in particular, who will lie about nothing. Doesn't even matter. That's the part that I almost feel that's a deal breaker also, but it's almost like a pathology. They can't help it. Does that make any sense to you? That's it. It's one of those things. I have very, very few things that I think are absolute human being deal breakers. Absolutely. That's one of them. I don't know why. There's something about that. Isn't that something? Out of the entire panoply of terrible things, that's the one that gets me. Okay, you don't care about this. I don't blame you. Look, you got a lot to do. You don't need Mr. Philosophy coming up here asking you all kinds of questions about what's worse, tattoos, or somebody who yells at a waitress. I know, I understand. You're busy. Far be it from me. I should have checked with you. I should have said, you know what? This is not something you're paying attention to. And I don't blame you. There's a lot going on in the world right now, my friends. There's a lot going on. Laurie Cuck says, someone who won't speak up for me or tend to their children, puke. Somebody who won't speak up for me. Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny you say that. There is one of the, it's very interesting that you say that. There's something wonderful about somebody who has the wherewithal to say, how dare you talk to my child, wife, or whatever like that? Do that to me, not them. It's very interesting. Remember something too. Remember, if ever you want to know about somebody, always ask the relationship to their parents. Carla says, my mom mistreated, undermined our home staff. I made a point of treating everyone the same from janitor to CEO. See, there's something very, very, very sad about that. There's something very, very, very sad. Now, by the way, Carla, and I appreciate that. I have an absolute, how do I say this? I am brutal in people who are boorish, loud, stupid, violent, just bad people. I was watching today this wonderful, how do I say this? I still think the greatest YouTube videos are the people who get arrested. Don't ask me why. I'm just fascinated. I'm thinking, why did you do this? And there are people who are animals. With all due respect to animals, devoid of I couldn't be a police officer. Devoid of humanity. They're stupid. They're rude, crude, boorish, churlish, violent, angry. They don't make any sense. And it's not, and alcohol sometimes or drugs may exacerbate the problem. But there are people who are so bad. And I thought to myself one day, and I'm going to tell you, I thought, you know, if I was a dictator, and I said, let me ask you a question. Now listen to this. If I was a dictator and I said, if you've got like they do in China, they put these ads up on poles for the policemen who are assigned to a sector. I would say to them, if you have a problem with somebody, let me know. If somebody said to me, well, I got a problem. What is it? Well, you see this guy over there? Yeah. He stands on the corner, and he might be crazy, but he scares people. And people kind of walk across the street, and he makes people feel afraid. And sometimes he's just a bad guy, and he's scary, and the kids are scared. Okay. And then I, as a dictator, would one day you would see a van or something pull up. He would be asked to get in, and you never see him again. I might relocate him or not. I might just relocate him. I might say, you know what? And then I say, how's everybody doing here? Thank you. This man was a cancer. He bothered us. He hurt us. He scared us. You probably have these people, you never. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. By the way, what happened to him? Don't worry about it. See, I could be I could be a dictator and a lovable totalitarian. Certain things I would not tolerate at all. As much as I love the Constitution, as much as I recognize this is our rules, I don't know if I would necessarily have this if we started a country again. Certain things I don't think I would have. I really don't know. I have absolutely no problem about certain things, forms of amputation. And there are some people who need to be amputated. Soul says, how people treat animals is also very telling. Let me tell you something. Did you see that little dog somebody left tied up? I think it was in Tampa. It was on Bruce B. Downs Boulevard. Used to be called 30th Street or whatever it is. But it was this dog. They left this dog. Gandhi said you can tell about a society by the way they treat their animals. Now, I always ask somebody, who cares about how they treat animals when we eat animals? That's another story. I don't want to get into it. But when you look at a little dog or something, and everybody normally feels something towards them. It's one thing for you to say, you know what, I'm allergic to cats. I'm not crazy about cats. That's fine. But to hurt them? Don't forget the big three of serial killers: enuresis, bedwetting, teasing animals, and arson. That's also very interesting. Also, remember something. Here's one for you. You're going to love this. Maybe not going to love it, but I was talking to somebody a while back. It was a young man. He said he was kind of courting. I said, let me ask you a couple of questions. Yes, I said, you may not like this. I said, but hear what I have to say. This girl, you like her? Yeah, good. What do they look like in that family? And he looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said, what do they look like? What does her mother look like? What does her mother look like? Yeah, what does her mother look like? And the sisters and the father. What do they look like when they get older? What happens to them? Just give me an idea. Have you seen people that when they get to a certain age, they just give up? All of them. They just give up. They turn to, I don't know what they turn into. That's going to be your wife. That's pretty extreme. I'm right on the money. I know what I'm talking about. Number two, this girl, family intact? Yeah. Did the father divorce her? Ooh, be careful. Abandonment issues. Abandonment. Make sure you understand that. How old was she? Was she too young? Depends about that. Okay. Interesting. How many times a day or a week does this girl call her mother? A lot. Ooh. Let me tell you the deal killer. Not that you're asking, but I'm going to tell you anyway. This is the deal killer. This is the one where I'll say, give me the it's like the divorce paper. Just give me to sign this. Here you go. Thank you. That's it. When people reveal secrets, when people say to their sisters or their parents, well, you know, we have a whatever it is. That's it. Betrayal. And betrayal to me is not necessarily romantic betrayal. You told somebody something? You mean I can't trust you? I'm done. Laurie Cook says, watch when suspect is smarter than the cops. Best ever. Oh, yes. I love that. See, Laurie, you know this. There's something about this wonderful Mrs. Elvis saying, why are you? She could hear in these headphones this woman screaming that they were throwing in the back of a car. I said, I don't know why. It's justice or something. I don't know what this is. I can't explain it. There's something about, let me just leave it at that. There's something about you betrayed a trust. That's it. End of discussion. Done. Well, no, I'm just very close. No. That's it. Sorry. Because if people can't keep their mouth shut and you can't touch them or trust them or touch them for them, trust them, what's the point? All right, dear friends, what a night it's been. What a night. Please pray. If you are pray for my friends and family and my dear friends, my extended family in Florida, the West Coast, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Pinellas, Bradenton, Manatee County, Sarasota County. Pray for them. I'm going to be watching this all night. I'm getting friends sending things. They did nothing wrong. They did absolutely nothing wrong. And they deserve safety. Two things. Make sure you remember this name. Preparewithlionel.com. I'm going to keep telling you until you get it through your head. This is not about a trifle. This is about saving your life, being prepared, because your government is telling you there's nobody who's going to help. MyPillow.com. We didn't mention him tonight, but Mike Lindell is still there. Mike Lindell, promo code Lionel, the best, the greatest. They're wonderful. God bless these wonderful men. He's fantastic. I love with him. I love with him. I don't know what that means. I love with him. I don't know what that means. Also, LionelNationGold.com. If you want to find out these, I've got some good stuff. This little thing, a little sampling. Let me show you some good stuff here. Some good stuff. These are good. Here we go. Hang on a minute. Where is it? These are some silvers. Oh, these are some real good ones. You keep them in these plastic. Aren't these beautiful? Look at those silvers. Look at that. How beautiful that is. This one, here's one too. This is gold. This is the, and these, these are just gold. These are the Liberty Bell. Here's another one too. That's great. This one's really beautiful. This is Thomas Jefferson. See that? Isn't that beautiful? Here's one to you. Oh, here's King. This is nothing. This is a little piece of gold. But this is Prince Charles, now King Charles. Here's another one too. Oh, here's a great one. This is a great silver dollar. These are always a great gift to give when somebody's born. Give them a. This is just a silver dollar, and these are some other gold coins. This is yep. This is a king again. I just love these. When I was a kid, I loved numismatics. And there's something about it. Isn't that beautiful? And this I just look at all the time. It's a great paperweight. Isn't that beautiful? The idea of the coin. In any event, that's those guys. They're very good. That is Lionel Nation Gold. And if you get a chance, try to get a kilo. It's about 85 grand. A little kilo. It's about 2.2 pounds of gold. That's all. Stick that in the drawer. 85,000. Huh? All right. Okay, dear friends, don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors as well. And thank you. Now, let me just say something to you. I want to thank you for being here. You are my extended family. You are demented. You are demented. You are absolutely wonderful. I feel like I know you. I know that sounds odd. Oh, don't forget, speaking of which, October the 26th at the Cutting Room. 10 days before the election. Lori Cuck, Soul 76, Carla, the cooking CEO, thank you. Nelson A, Pilgrim Media, YouTube, thank you. And I think I said Nelson. Teresa Skinner, The Brad, Vito, Howie Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. Nelson A, CR, thank you for your gift. Therese Pollard, Linda Hazlitt, Martin Higgins, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. All right, dear friends, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great and a glorious day. 8 a.m. tomorrow sharp, I promise you. And I'll be watching again. If you pray, if you are so inclined, please send your prayer energy to our friends and family in Florida. Therese Skinner says, Trump hates lazy and cowards. He's a hero, and I want to please Trump. He's a huge motivation to never quit. Absolutely. There's something about that. Never, never quit. Unless it's truly impossible, and then you're demented. But that we'll discuss some other time. All right? That's another story. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious night. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.